Ladies and gentlemen, this is the classic matchup. Freddy versus Jason. You've seen Jason's mom kick some ass and die. Then you've seen Jason run around with a bag on his head. Then he gets a hockey mask, dies, gets impersonated, comes back, gets beaten by a little boy, fights Carrie, takes Manhattan, and then goes to my sister's house. And you've seen Freddy get beaten by a girl, become the spirit of gayness for some reason. Freddy's Revenge. Eat your face. And then consistently get beaten by kids and come back before getting killed in a different universe, and now here he is to fight his greatest challenge ever, Jason Voorhees. Really is weird when you think about it, isn't it? Horror movies are really into girl power because a chick normally is the one who's fighting down the baddie at the end. Before I go any further, let me remind you all that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I purchase one of these bracelets here from the company 4Ocean, and 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean. So, if you'd be so kind as to comment, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, we can have a better world together. Now again, it will take a lot of us to make the world significantly better, but if 70 some odd million people can vote for Joe Biden and make the world better, then 70 some odd million people could surely subscribe to this channel, at which point I will have pulled a lot of trash out of the ocean and made the world better. Subscribing to this channel is much easier than voting. Anyway, so what we have in Freddy vs. Jason is the most pure distillant of each one of these characters in their nth level design. Freddy has been beaten, he's been forgotten, and he searches the bowels of hell for someone who will make them afraid again, which is his ticket back to our world. That someone is the immortal Jason Voorhees, who, so long as his spirit can be summoned, he cannot be killed. As long as he has teenagers to murder, he's got something to do. And I have a dry throat. I hope I'm not coming down with something. It was fine 40 minutes ago. Anyway, so yes, Freddy resurrects Jason, and Jason comes to Springwood, I believe it is, and starts, murdering some people. That's your story. Eventually, Freddy comes back, and so on and so forth, and then they fight. This is not a spoiler. This is what you know is going to happen, but how can I put this? Well, this is the most successful of either of the franchise's movies. This one. Because it is that purity of Freddy and Jason. Freddy is portrayed primarily as an unsympathetic, pure denizen of evil, and Jason as kind of a non-thinking but abused soul, who is, of course, indestructible. Jason is the bulldozer / tank, and Freddy is the, quipping underdog that makes jokes. There could be more nudity. These are Freudian horror films, and of course, they tend to scratch a certain itch, which involves attractive women bearing it all. And of course, you have both nudity and nakedness in this film. Nudity is the state of being without clothes, and nakedness is exposure. The nakedness is not used very well, but you've got basically a certain shape of woman, a particularly thick woman, going out there and showing her goods, and if that's going to scratch your itch, that's going to scratch your itch. These being Freudian horror films, the obligatory boob shot is normally present. You get at least two of those in this, so people looking for that should be happy. Now, again, I am going to point out that only Caucasians get naked in this film, which I find a little weird. Meaning there's at least one, non-Caucasian who's a very attractive woman who's like, why didn't she take her clothes off? I mean, did she not want to? It's attractive woman. Anyway, one thing I am sad about is the fact that most of the actors from this didn't go on to do much. I mean, Kelly Rowland, the attractive ethnic necessity of modern film, gone on to get married. Very attractive woman, but gone on to get married. Catherine Isabella, I believe, who kind of plays the bad girl in this, didn't really do much after this. I mean, why? It's well acted, well cast. Of course, one of the things that really sells this particular thing is the performance of our Freddy Krueger, who is Robert Englund. And I mean, really, he does a lot of acting with expression. Freddy never shuts up. That's part of his thing. He's kind of a Deadpool-esque character in that regard. But, when things are happening, you can tell that Freddy has been put in a situation. And this is the most wonderful character-driven Freddy I've ever seen. Again, these movies, they come from a low-budget sexploitation standpoint. So that's what they've always kind of been. It's teenagers getting naked and screwing and then getting killed for it. It's literally somebody being angry over that is the beginning of the Friday the 13th franchise. But these are two characters that are essentially eunuchs for whatever reason. Jason because he's just grotesque, and Freddy because he's been burned to a crisp, who violate you in other ways. Hence the Freudian film. And this is an excellent example of these two titans fighting. If you're going to watch any movie out of any of these series, this is the one to watch. I would actually say that the next one would be the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Then perhaps the original Friday the 13th, which has almost nothing to do with this movie at this point. But yes, of course, Freddy vs. Jason, must watch. Iconic. This is an iconic film. If you haven't seen it, you probably should. I'm Richard.
Hello there. This is El Mouso Fabuloso, and I would just like to say, have you noticed how ridiculously sexy Richard is? Well, yes, he is sexy, and he is helping the environment, promised to take a pound of trash out of the ocean through the company 4Ocean. Once he's monetized for every 1,000 subscribers he gets. He's already paid for £2, and as I film this, not even 2,000 subscribers and not monetized. So he is just an absolutely fabulous, sexy man. And you lucky dog, you can make him even more sexy by commenting and liking this video and giving him that thumbs up and then subscribing and letting everybody know how absolutely sexy he is. Let's make Richard the sexiest man on earth, because we all know he is already. All right, we all know he deserves that. So yes, oh, so sexy. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm sexy too. Sexy in blue.